Welcome to the Built From Scratch podcast. I am your host, Sharon Hunneybell, and I have the pleasure today of interviewing Brett McCallum, who's the founder of the Official Beer Company. Welcome, Brett.
Thanks for having me. This is exciting.
It is, I know. So tell me all about the Official Beer Company. When did it start?
Well, we started about 2 or 3 years ago, and the reason we started was a bit of a piss take. And the reason, because what happened was that I said I wanted to release a beer called 2032. And then I could become the official beer of 2032. Nice. And obviously with the Olympics and everything that was going on and that was about to happen in 2032, that if I released a beer now, then no one could do anything or say anything in 2032. So it was a joke at the start.
Nice.
And it was also the fact that we don't like craft beer.
Right.
So all the flowery, smelly, tasty beers and stuff, we don't like them as like a, I'm going to say mature age drinker. So a big thing with that was that we wanted to bring out a local beer that tasted like beer that you could drink all day, and then we could make it work. So someone said, well, you can't do that. And Sharon, I've known you for a long time, and you know, that's really
the ultimate challenge for you, isn't it? Yeah.
So we did that, and we brought out, I've got one of the original cans here. We brought out Official Beer 2032. Nice. So you'll notice that the colours are very similar to a hue of a big event that may happen in that year.
Yep.
And then 2032 was born. We got it brewed by Black Hops at the time.
Nice.
Before they went broke.
Yep.
And then we come up with an idea of let's actually open our own brewery, because that was a really good idea too. Really stupid idea in the end. But then we opened up a local venue that was open for probably 9 months, maybe a year. And it was an outdoor bar, and the whole idea there was like, let's just serve our beer, because that's everyone will want to drink our beer. Well, we learnt you should serve everyone's beer and have your beer there as well. And these are the lessons.
We hosted a big party at your venue, and I have to admit, your beer was an absolute hit. And personally, my favourite is the ginger beer. I think it's fantastic. Are you still brewing that one?
We are. Yeah, that's coming out next. So what we did was the venue had to close, which was very sad. But at the same time, when you get 62 days in a row of rain at an outdoor venue, never going to work.
No.
So, and then the tram come through and all the stuff that happened on the Gold Coast. So that all happened. And then we went into a little bit of hibernation and we decided, okay, let's change our model. And our model now is based around the distribution of where the beer goes. So if we're going to distribute on the Gold Coast, let's brew on the Gold Coast. If we're going to distribute in Melbourne, let's brew in Melbourne.
Yeah.
We've just come up with an awesome deal where we're actually going to take the beer to India. And a big part of that is that we'll brew locally in India. So that's our recipe, it's our marketing, everything's exactly the same. So it's all quality controlled.
Yeah.
And we've just tested that in New Zealand.
Right.
So we've just launched a beer in New Zealand called Yeti Lager, and that's based around our basketball team, the Taranaki Airs. And we launched Yeti Lager earlier this year, and it's the exact same recipe. Everything's exactly the same, but it tastes just that little bit different. And we didn't know why. And it was like the same brewery, same brewer, different brewery and all that. And we found out the water's nicer in New Zealand. So a little bit of difference, and that's what we're learning as we go. So what we decided to do is let's stick to one beer, get it right, see where we can distribute it, and then bring out the other beers. Yeah. So the original 3 beers we had was obviously 2032, your favourite and my favourite, the ginger beer. And then also we had a mid-strength. We found that there's a lot of mid-strength in the market. I refuse to do 0 strength, because why have a beer if you're not going to have alcohol in it? That's the way to make it work. But a big part of it, we just want to have a heap of fun. Yeah. And when I turned 52 years ago, and I decided I'm just going to do stuff that I enjoy. So a really big part of that is let's have fun with what we do.
Nice.
And obviously open a beer company is a lot of fun. Costs a lot of money. Didn't know that bit. But at the same time is we have a lot of fun while we do it. So GC Lager, I got one of them. Oh, there we go. That was clever. I got one of them here as well.
Nice.
So that's the GC Lager.
That's the mid-strength, is it?
No, that's full-strength beer.
That's low carb. That's what I should be on at the moment. I'm trying to do that.
Trying to no carb it up. But it's actually got 0 carbs, but we can't make that announcement because then we have to go and spend a whole pile of money on tests and sciences and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Whereas we can, I don't know, am I allowed to swear on this podcast? Yeah. Apologies for that. But yeah, that's why it's low carb. So GC Lager was born from that, and then ginger beer will come next because that's the best ginger on the market.
Is it GC Lager because we're all fitness freaks here and all trying to be low carb and high protein?
Yeah, probably. No, I tell you where GC Lager came from. Do you remember back in the day when KB Lager? Remember they were gold cans and it was big KB, and I remember that's all my dad used to drink, right? And that was in a steel can and a ring pull and that sort of stuff. And I went to the guys here and I said, I want something designed like this.
Yeah.
And it was literally just a K and a B. And they come back when that's how GC Lager was born.
Looks
sort of
good.
based off the old school. Still got our Reg Mombasa sort of logo type stuff that we like to do, the old Mambo stuff.
Yeah.
Which is sort of the inspiration behind all of the artwork that we do.
Nice.
And that's because that's what I grew up enjoying. A lot of this is about me, actually, isn't it?
Well, I'm interested as well to know about, what is the craft beer or beer industry like when you are expanding into, New Zealand, but I guess India as well? Like, is it a big market? Is it a growing market?
Well, the thing about India is that it's the largest alcohol consuming middle class in the world. And the reason is because there's so many of them.
Right.
That's the problem. Oh, not the problem. That's the good thing.
Yeah.
It's really hard not to succeed if you can make sure that you make it right. And the thing what we're finding hardest at the moment is making sure that we can actually rely on the local people to get the brew right, to make sure we can do it. And they also want stronger. Like these are 4.6. They want 6.2. Alcohol levels. So they're bigger cans. We went for the bigger cans specifically based on the fact that I like that, and I think it's different in the market. Like if you look at the 2032s that we did and compare that in size, it's the 440ml can. It costs us an extra little bit of money, but at the same time you get much more value for money.
Yeah, nice. I love the branding there on the Yeti Lager.
It's good, isn't it?
How could you resist that when you're walking up the
into the bottle shop?
Shelf? Yeah.
Well, that was the whole idea. Like Ziggy, who you've met here at work here, he designs all the cans, and we've given him inspiration, but then given him free reign. Go for your life. And Ziggy's one of those guys that is really good at what he does, and he gets his heart and passion into it, and he's done that, and it's just like, mate, that's perfect. Like every single can that he's designed so far has been pretty amazing.
Nice. And so if you were expanding into other states in Australia, you've said that you want to set up locally. So is that up to a champion, for example, in another state to approach you and say, hey, we want to brew some of your beer here? Or are you strategically okay? Nice.
No, would love that. Yeah, that's how India happened. Is we had a guy come to us, and he's got a company over there called Boomerang Ventures, which is taking Australian products into India. And he said, look, I would love to get you guys involved. What can we do? How can we make that work? And it was like, well, if we've got the right people and we can still make the beer, then we're happy to look at any options on that front. But the big thing for us, we're a marketing company. So to me, as long as the quality's there and it's good, then that's what we're looking for and what we're trying to sort of achieve, I suppose.
Excellent. So would people that are running specific groups or events, for example, can you custom brew for them as well? Or is this really
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Official beer can become the official beer of anything.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we do and where we're at. A big part of it is the fact of the branding itself, and the name itself was done on purpose, as I mentioned, with 2032. But it also meant that we can be the official beer of any football team. We can be the official beer of any location, event, any of that sort of stuff. The only thing is that to get the cans coloured and done like this, which is actually printed on the can and all that sort of stuff, there's a minimum of 1,036 cans.
Right.
Just because that's the way we can only buy them in certain ways. The beer itself, depending on what beer you're after. So now we've actually got 4 beers in the market, or about to go in the market. There's obviously the lager. There's a ginger beer about to come out again, which is just the best. There'll be an IPA or XPA, and then we're still discussing whether we do the mid-strength. I'm still against it, but sometimes got to listen to people.
To the market, that's it. That's really cool. All right, so where can people buy the beer now?
At the moment, we're at Play Zone in Surfers Paradise. That's a really good event location right in the middle of Surfers in Cavill Avenue. So we actually do Play Zone Lager, which is actually GC Lager just rebranded as Play Zone Lager. Those guys are doing a great job in there. So that was our first location here in our comeback tour, as we're liking to call it now. And then from here, from the office here, we can actually sell wholesale now. So you look at, we're in negotiations with people like BWS and a number of different bars. It's a really, really hard market to get into, which we're learning, and that is because your big boys have got most of the taps in the pubs.
Yep.
So most pubs have got one tap for a local craft beer. But what we're finding now is when people taste the beer, then like, oh, actually, I'd really like that on tap. So we're doing kegs, and well, we can sell to parties, we can sell sort of anywhere, but that's all done based out of our office here in Burleigh.
Nice. I like it. So let's talk a little bit more about Brett then.
Okay, here we go.
And sort of the journey to this, because you've done so many different things. So this is obviously a great experiment, lots of fun. What's the most challenging business venture that you've sort of approached over the last few years?
Over the years, geez. Yeah. Well, I'm a serial entrepreneur, as you know. I've done a lot of different things, good and bad. I've been very, very successful and very unsuccessful. I wrote a book about that. But the most challenging, I would say, would be actually having a venue. I think the hardest thing with when we opened the venue was dealing with staff, dealing with casual staff.
Yeah.
And the amount you got to pay people to actually serve beer is just insane. I was paying more to someone to wash dishes than I was to like someone to actually be in the office here doing day-to-day work. And
that's amazing.
And the thing is, it's and that's fine. I'm not I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And then also the transient worker that comes through as well and then goes, I just couldn't be bothered going today. So then I'm down there. Yes. So like you do a full day's work and then you're working the night in the bar, and just those sort of things that we never took into consideration.
Yeah.
Because I obviously look into everything so deeply before I just jump at things, which is obviously ironic. That was one of the things we learnt from that. Other than that, we've had just lots of different business ventures, and I just enjoy it. I think the key for me is just jumping in both feet. We bought a basketball team 2 years ago. We own a basketball team in New Zealand called the Taranaki Airs. That's what the Yeti Lager's for.
Right.
That's been a really interesting thing from the New Zealand side of things, is because we're not local, and it's a small town, and it's a very chatty town. Like we've gone in there to try and make it a professional team and make everything professional.
How did that come about? Like, how did you learn that this was an opportunity? There was an opportunity to acquire a basketball team.
So we went to open a team here on the Gold Coast. So I met with the Australian NBL, and the amount of money that they wanted for a license was insane, and the business model that they had was insane as well. And I didn't want to pursue that. After the amount of money that was supposed to be on the table. I didn't think there was a value there. So then I got approached from someone that learnt that we were looking at that to say, hey, why don't you have a look at New Zealand? And then a guy by the name of Justin Nelson, who's actually just joined the Australian NBL, great guy, he reached out to me and we had a conversation, and there was a team in Taranaki in New Plymouth that was struggling and were about to go under, and said, look, you could save them by coming on board and taking them over and running it as a professional business. And so that's how it came about. I then looked at the opportunity and went, how cool is that? I could own a basketball team. And then once again, we've learnt lots of lessons in regards. It's cost a lot of money, but at the same time is I own a beer company and I own a professional basketball team. It's like midlife crisis maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a little bit like you, as in I've got a thumb in many, many pies. And one of the local soccer clubs was one of the things I was involved in sort of getting off the ground. And one of the things I've always thought was that it's certainly the best role you could have, or the best value for money, is to be the sponsor, rather than be the person that's managing the team.
100%.
You get all of the fame and and none of the headaches, because there are so many headaches, right, behind running a sporting team.
Yeah, it's interesting, all the things you don't think of, like where the players are going to live, how they get transported, what do they eat. I sit there and go, you're a professional athlete, surely you know what to eat. But we find that we have to do everything for them because that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
And you literally hand feed these people because that's what, but then at the same time, they then go and play and they win and they do all the things that you want them to do. It's like, that's that juggling act, which I found really difficult.
Yeah.
But it's finding the right people around you. Same as any business, really. Surround yourself with people that are way more intelligent than you are at what you do, and then make it work. I think that going back to that's our new model.
Yeah. And do you get much downtime, or is your joy just in creating businesses around the things you love?
Do I try and have a lot more downtime now?
Yeah.
Over the last sort of 12 months, I've sort of started to slow down. But I'm like you. The ADHD kicks in, and you just sit there and go,
"New idea just lights up."
There's a squirrel over there. Which way do we go now? I think a big part of that personally is that I just enjoy it so much, and I think it's really tough. Like everyone says, just concentrate on one thing, and I sort of say back to them now, like if you were in my head and you saw how my brain worked, you'd understand how I can't concentrate on one thing.
No.
But what I have learned is if you surround yourself with the right people, then they'll say no on your behalf.
Yeah.
So I hire people specifically to say no. Like my business partner I've been in business now with for probably 16, 17 years. He's always is in the background. Not many people know him, but at the same time, he's the one that says you're an idiot on most days. But he also now takes a much more sort of bigger role in everything we do. And so he's like, no, we're not doing that because of this. Yeah. And I'm always one of those people, why not? Why? But at the same time I also start to listen now where I never used to. Yeah. And that cost me lots of money, but it's been fun.
Yeah, I think the other thing is about knowing sort of where your zone of genius is. So if you are an ideas person and like there's not that many people out there that actually have that ability to be able to visualize something in their mind and actually turn it into something in reality. So it's the same thing, as long as you've got those right people there that can drive it after you've created it, it's good as well. Because I imagine you would be exactly the same as me, which is that as soon as it's running smoothly and there's a pattern and repetition to it, it's really hard to stay focused on it.
Without doubt.
Yeah, and I know that it's better. Like I know that like from a psychological perspective, it was like really like having a routine, doing the same thing should be better, but for me it does not feel energizing. I'll just go my brain will go everywhere else except for the thing I'm meant to be doing.
100%. The day I first tasted the beer, I'm done now. My job is done. On to you guys. Come on, let's get this going. But what I've done with the beer actually, because I've enjoyed it so much, it's now okay, on with the next one.
Yeah, nice.
And the good thing here is I can have 37 beers, so I can do this 37 times.
Yeah.
And it's like I proved my point with 2032. You can't do anything about that now. Yeah. So let's move on. Oh, GC Lager, that's a good idea. Let's do Yeti Lager. Let's go to India. And I think what this business allows me to do is actually look at that a little bit differently than most.
Nice. And do you still have your beer cart to go out to events and things?
We do.
That was cool.
We do, yeah. We've got that where we can just put the kegs on the back and then hook that up and take it to an event. Not something we do very often anymore, but we should. Nice. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I thought it was good fun seeing it. Like people always loved it when this little golf carty thing just started beeping as it pulled up with the beer-mobile.
Yeah, and you just literally got taps on the back and you're away. It's great.
Yeah, very cool.
But yeah, no, to answer your question though, it's to take that to the next level and to get things to that next level. I actually I put in patentable, repeatable processes, so therefore people can do that.
Yep.
And then it's finding the right people to do that. That's the hardest thing. I think the hardest thing is that when you create a business or you create something and you get it to a point where you go, okay, that can go boom now. It's finding the right person to make that go boom. That's not you.
Yeah, and finding someone that's got the same passion for the idea and that really understands that sort of drive and your vision for it to be able to drive it forward, I think. Yeah. Yeah,
it's interesting. I had lunch with a good mate of mine, Trevor, who you met today as well, the other day, and he said to me, you're one of the only people I know that can actually see the future of like what a business is going to look like, get it to that point and then walk away from it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, and he goes, don't walk away from it. That's not a good idea. And I said, yeah, Trevor, but the big thing for me is that I can get it to that point and I'm more than comfortable to do that.
Yeah.
And then we just need to find the right people to run that and make that happen.
And it's creating opportunities for those people to be able
that's
to
key.
have
that's
that
legacy.
leadership role.
That's what it's all about. Leaving that legacy there that you can then bring someone in to actually run that. Because that's the thing with entrepreneurs, and there's always there's not many entrepreneurs in the world that make money. There's not many entrepreneurs that succeed. But there's all these people that shouldn't be entrepreneurs, but should be the number 2 man or number 1 man even, and actually come in because they're so good at what they do. Whether it's a salesman, whether it's a CEO, whatever it is, if you follow an entrepreneur, someone like us, that can go and give, here's a vision, this is how you do it, and then you run with that, they can make so much more money.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on that.
Totally agree. So look, we are nearly at our 20-minute mark.
Oh, here we go.
So What we like to do now is we're going to do a final five.
Oh,
right?
a bit nervous about this. Can I do it before I do that? I've got a hat as a gift for you.
Oh, nice.
There you go. You don't have to put it on now because you've got headphones on.
I've got the headphones on, but that actually goes very nicely
with
my
your
outfit as well. Go the black. All right, so you've got 60 seconds to answer each of these questions, right? Number one, what gets you out of bed each day?
My alarm clock at 5 a.m. It does, true story, 5 a.m. every morning. I get up, I drop my son to the train station at 5:20 and I walk from North Burleigh to Burleigh and back every single morning.
Wow.
And then I go for a swim in the ocean and then I get out and then I start my day.
Good on you.
And I do that. I got crook earlier this year and then to get better I had to lose a lot of weight and that's how I lost the weight. And it's just like it now become a habit. And I think that's one of the best habits that I have is the fact that I go out there, I walk with 2 or 3 other guys. We solve all the world's problems just talking shit to each other. And it just gets your head in the right space for the day. That
is a great way to start the day. All right, second question. Do you have a quote or motto that you live by?
I do. I have a few. The one my family lives by is that don't be a dick. Is our number one quote and memoir in our family. It's written on the board in my office. That's what we do in the office here. The big thing for me is like guys like Steve Jobs and stuff like that. Some of the stuff that they've left us with just in regards to I can't actually announce any quotes at the moment, but just some of the things and like Gary Vee, I follow a lot of Gary Vee and I follow a lot of that sort of stuff where it's just get off your ass and have a crack.
Yeah.
Don't leave anything behind. Like you get one life to live, so just live it. And I think a big part of that is that if you don't, you're going to regret stuff. Have no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets, as they say in the movies.
All right. What's the best thing that's happened to your business this year?
Oh, me slowing down.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think me actually listening to my wife. I hope she watches this. But yeah, me listening to my wife and actually sort of sitting there and going, just slow down a little bit. You need to slow down a little bit. And by me being able to do that and then concentrate a lot more on what we're actually doing, I think it enables us to take that next step.
Yeah.
Whereas I think going 4 million miles an hour at every single thing you do is great if that's the way you work. But to me, it's finding sort of that gap.
Yeah.
I actually said to my wife earlier in the year, I want to become a pro golfer. I'm never going to become a pro golfer, but I want to play enough golf to actually like practice like I would. So 2 or 3 days a week. Haven't played golf yet this year, but that was the plan. But it also means that you can slow down. It gives you 4 hours of time where your phone's off and you just sort of don't look at that as much. I think that's probably the biggest thing.
And you've created that daily practice in the mornings now. So then it's just a matter of creating that sort of weekly practice.
100%. Yeah, it's just getting that diary right and making sure you can do that and fitting things in.
Amazing. All right. So, what is the greatest lesson you've learned on your business journey?
Greatest lesson I've learned. Don't trust anyone until they prove they can be trusted.
Nice.
And the reason that is because I've been burnt by so many people. I trust everyone. I give everyone a crack. I think everyone's good. And then you get burnt so many times. Whereas if you flip that on its head, and when I say don't trust them, it's not don't listen.
Yeah.
It's just sort of actually sit back, watch, make sure it works, make sure you can actually put trust in that person. And then once you gain my trust, you got 100%. You burn me once, you're out. That's that sort of simple. I think that's probably the best thing.
I totally agree with you. That's definitely a lesson that I've had to learn as well along the way.
I think most of us haven't we?
Yeah. And my final question, what is your top goal for this year and how can our podcast listeners and viewers help you with it?
Oh, I'd love to get the beer out into every state in Australia. I don't think we'll get that done this year. I think it's probably going to be the next couple of years. However, I'd love to bring out a range of beer that people enjoy, that they sit there and go, oh, it's such a good beer. And we've done that because everyone really likes it. Like I got feedback this morning from my son's boss. Just things like that make me happy that we've produced something that people go, oh, fuck, how good's that? But I think the biggest goal for this year would be to establish the brand, establish distribution, and just make sure that we can push this out across the country or globally now because we're in India and New Zealand.
Yeah.
So
our viewers can just encourage people to seek out
an official beer. Yeah. Or if you want to make your beer official, then we can do that as well.
Yes. Amazing. All right. Well, it's been super cool talking to you about this today, Brett. I absolutely love this initiative. So well done. Can't wait for 2032 when we're all drinking the official beer.
And the lawyers are coming after us and all that sort of stuff. That'll be fun. We're looking forward to that bit.
Very cool. All right. Thank you for visiting today.
Thanks so much, Sharon. Appreciate it. Good luck with the podcast.
Thank you.
Cheers.